Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Biocon's Q2 FY22 earnings media simulcast. Let me start by calling out the incredible milestone that our nation celebrated yesterday when we vaccinated the billionth person in India. A huge accolade goes out to our Prime Minister, our Health Minister, our vaccine makers, our healthcare colleagues, and of course, the various state governments who, basically delivered on this huge milestone through a very collective effort, as our Honorable Prime Minister described it as. I think this will certainly put us in a much more confident position to deal with the pandemic with a sense of security and confidence. The Biocon Group has also contributed significantly towards this pandemic by saving lives at critical points in the pandemic's journey. We have provided both testing services, we have provided drugs that were required for saving lives. And I really feel that every company that could do whatever it could has done so in terms of addressing this huge challenge. During the quarter, we also expanded our commitment towards COVID-19 solutions. And we actually announced two very strategic alliances. The first was with Adagio Therapeutics of the US, with whom we are developing a neutralizing antibody for treating and for preventing COVID-19. A very unique opportunity, which is under development in phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials. And we hope to get this product in use next calendar year. A very important alliance that was announced immediately thereafter was our partnership with Serum Institute through its subsidiary SILS, Serum Institute Life Sciences, by which we will get an asset-light access to 100 million dose vaccine capacity for a period of 15 years, in return for which SILS will get a 15% stake in Biocon Biologics. I think this heralds our foray into infectious diseases, which I think will complement our focus thus far on non-communicable diseases. And this actually sets us up to be a very comprehensive player in global healthcare. Before I go into quarterly performance, I'd also like to update you on a board announcement, wherein, as you know, there was a vacancy created by the retirement or the premature retirement of Mr. John Shaw for health reasons. And the board of Biocon has appointed Dr. Eric Mazumdar as a non-executive director to the board with effect from November 1st, 2021. Dr. Mazumdar is Assistant Professor of Computing and Mathematical Sciences and Economics at the California Institute of Technology. His research is at an intersection of engineering, machine learning, and economics at reputed institutes such as University of California, Berkeley, the MIT Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, and the MIT Koch Institute for Cancer Research. He is considered one of the rising stars in artificial intelligence, and we believe he can add tremendous value to Biocon as it moves into digital transformation, leveraging the benefits of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Dr. Mazumdar holds a PhD in electrical engineering and computer sciences from the University of California, Berkeley, and a Bachelor of Science in engineering and computer science from MIT. Now let me move on to financial performance for Q2. And I would like to start by saying that at a consolidated revenue level, Q2 revenues rose 10% to 1,945 crores from 1,765 last fiscal. Revenue was driven primarily by good performance of both biosimilars and research services. EBITDA for the quarter rose 35% to rupees 551 crores from the previous fiscal's 407 crores. EBITDA margins for the quarter improved from 23% last fiscal to 28% this fiscal. Core margins also improved significantly, and net of licensing, Forex, Adagio, revaluation gains, and R&D, it stood at 33% compared to 32% in the same quarter last fiscal. Profit before tax for the quarter, excluding exceptional item, stood at 276 crores, which is up 27% versus 218 crores in the same quarter last fiscal. Let me explain that the exceptional items relate to the modification of the optionally convertible debentures of a PE investment in Biocon Biologics and reversal of SEIS claims pertaining to the prior period. As you know, the government recently announced that they would cap SEIS to 5 crores per exporter, and this has had the impact on us reversing SEIS claims. Net profit for the quarter before exceptional items was 188 crores, up 11% from 169 crores last fiscal. Adjusting for exceptional items, net profit was at 138 crores. We recorded gross R&D spends of 165 crores for the quarter, which was similar to previous fiscal and represents around 12% of revenues ex Syngene. Of this, 146 crores has been expensed in the P&L, whilst the balance amount has been capitalized. Let me briefly touch upon the performance of our business segments, starting with biosimilars, which saw its revenues grow 10% year on year this quarter from 676 crores last fiscal to 743 crores this fiscal. The revenue performance was supported by continued market share gains in developed markets and strong growth in India and emerging markets. EBITDA was up 72% to 303 crores. This, of course, does include revaluation gains from the equity investment we made in Adagio at its IPO. Core EBITDA margins, excluding R&D, Forex, income, and Adagio revaluation gains, stood at 304 crores, which is up 15% year on year, representing a healthy 42% margin. Profit before tax, excluding the exceptional charge and revaluation gain from our investment in Adagio, stood at 119 crores, which is up 47% year on year. I do want to announce a very important historic milestone in the biologics business this quarter. It started with the interchangeable approval that we received for insulin glargine from US FDA under the 351(k) regulatory pathway. And it was a very proud milestone for us, since this was the first biosimilar in the world to receive such an approval. This provides us with a 1-year exclusivity, and subsequent to that approval, I'm very pleased to inform you that we have basically been included by Express Scripts, one of the largest pharmacy benefit managers in the US, under its national preferred formulary, wherein it has basically replaced Lantus. This is going to augur well for the insulin glargine business in the coming quarters, and we expect to see glargine sales contribute significantly to H2 performance and growth. The formulary at Express Scripts covers more than 28 million lives. And we believe that this will also ensure that many patients in its network who need insulin glargine may receive the full benefits of and access to treatment with lower or maintained out-of-pocket costs. The inclusion of the formulary is an important milestone for Biocon Biologics, and we expect the formulary coverage to begin on the 1st of January 2022. Our biosimilar insulin glargine therefore has the potential to bring significant cost savings for patients, employers, and PBMs in the US. We believe adoption of biosimilars through PBMs like Express Scripts will drive down the high costs of biologic therapies in the US, expand patient access, and of course, expand the consumption of biosimilars in the US. Our biosimilar Ogivri and pegfilgrastim maintained a high single-digit share in the US market. I would also mention that our insulin glargine, Semglee, continues to benefit patients in over 7 EU countries in which it has been introduced. During the quarter, we also commercialized our biosimilar bevacizumab Abevmy in several EU markets, including Germany, Croatia, Czech Republic, and Slovakia, through our partner Viatris. Market shares of our pegfilgrastim and trastuzumab continue to grow in Europe, with our trastuzumab Ogivri being the leading biosimilar in many EU markets where our partner Viatris is present. Trastuzumab also continues to be a leading biosimilar in Canada and Australia. During the quarter, I'm also pleased to inform you that we have received approval for biosimilar Aspart from Health Canada. We recorded a strong growth during the quarter in emerging markets as well, including India, driven by the launch of key biosimilars in new markets and expansion of our existing business. We launched bevacizumab in Malaysia and won a 2-year tender for biosimilar glargine in Malaysia. In LATAM, our biosimilar trastuzumab continues to retain its leadership position in Brazil with a strong double-digit market share. Branded formulation India business recorded a strong performance on the back of robust sales across diabetes, oncology, immunology, and critical care segments. I'm pleased to inform you that we have registered that over 42,000 COVID patients have benefited from the use of Alzumab or itolizumab during this pandemic. During the quarter, as I mentioned earlier, we have made 2 significant alliances with Adagio and Serum Institute Life Sciences. We believe that the Serum Institute Life Sciences strategic alliance provides Biocon Biologics an asset-light and accelerated entry into the vaccine segments. And in line with the terms of agreement, Biocon Biologics will generate a committed revenue stream and related margins from the vaccines business, which will commence as agreed from H2 of next fiscal. The near-term focus will be on COVID-19 vaccines, since a large part of the global population remains unvaccinated, as only 3% of people in low-income countries have received 1 dose. But additionally, we believe that there is a strong potential for a booster dose for COVID-19 vaccines. Additionally, the partnership will also have access to SILS's current development pipeline to address unmet needs in many other communicable diseases, such as mosquito-borne infections. We also aim to partner on researching and developing next generation vaccines. The Adagio partnership, of course, is focused on treating and prophylactically preventing COVID-19 through its unique single-shot intramuscular antibody therapy, which has just reported some very important differentiating data, which says that it has efficacy on all known variants of COVID-19 beyond Delta, including Lambda and Mu. With Adagio planning to seek emergency use authorization early next year, we believe that we are poised to generate good revenues from this opportunity as well. This new strategic alliances, along with our existing biosimilars business and the growing pipeline of biosimilars under development, positions us very strongly to be an end-to-end provider of biological products, both for infectious and non-communicable diseases that will significantly impact global healthcare in a way that will provide affordable access to all these products. When it comes to generics, our generics business, we had a decline of 12% year on year this quarter, from 604 crores last fiscal to 530 crores this fiscal. However, we did have a very positive development on the 1st of October, where Biocon launched as a first day launch, and this is our first day launch, everolimus tablets, a generic version of Afinitor, which we believe sets us up for strong H2 growth. Earlier this quarter, we also launched labetalol hydrochloride tablets and esomeprazole magnesium delayed release capsule. Our greenfield immunosuppressants API manufacturing facility in Visakhapatnam also remains on track to be commissioned in the latter part of 2022. With the waning pandemic and improvements in supply chain conditions, I do believe that the generics business is well positioned for sustained and strong growth in H2 this fiscal. In terms of research services, Syngene revenue was up 17% to 610 crores from 520 crores. The Q2 FY22 results was characterized by positive performances in all divisions across discovery services. Syngene has also continued to expand its relationship with existing clients, and its dedicated centers have also contributed to growth this quarter. And based on the strong performance of the first half of the year, we believe that Syngene is also well positioned to deliver on its guidance of mid-teens revenue growth for the full year. In terms of novel biologics, our US partner Equillium has announced plans to initiate a phase 3 pivotal study, which it has agreed with US FDA for itolizumab in acute graft versus host disease. And it is on track to commence these trials in the fourth quarter of this calendar year. During this quarter, our Boston-based associate Bicara Therapeutics continued to make progress in the dose-finding part of the phase 1 trial for its lead program BCA-101, and it hopes to basically conduct this both as a single agent and in combination with the PD-1 inhibitor. So to conclude, I would like to say that the expansion of our generics portfolio, the grant of interchangeability for our biosimilars Glargine, and its inclusion in Express Scripts National Formulary, and our collaborations with Adagio and Serum Institute, positions us to build a stronger future and fulfill our goal of making large-scale impact on global healthcare through affordable access. I would particularly like to call out our partnership with Serum Institute, as I believe that the billion vaccination milestone has been significantly contributed by our partner, Serum Institute, which also makes us very proud. Thank you very much.